Here's how you can work out if someone is enhanced or not. So here's a handy little website called Fat Free Mass Index Calculator.org or ffmicalculator.org. Here you can determine your fat-free mass index. Now it's a little bit different to BMI and I think a bit more accurate. So this tool might be useful for yourself to work out how far along you are in terms of your muscular development and if someone is natural or not. So here you have this dashboard. What you can see here is you've got a choice between imperial and metric measurements. I live in 2023, so I use metric, of course. Now these are my stats. I've got 184 centimeters tall, about 6'1", 108 kilos right now as of this morning. I'm somewhere between about 10 and 12% body fat. I usually err on the side of caution, just say more, because chances are most people are fatter than what they think, like me. So we'll just scroll down here and it's going to give you this calculation. Now, as you can see, I'm a bit far up on the scale. I am 6'1". I am very heavily muscled. I'm an advanced bodybuilder. I've been training for 15 years. So this does not surprise me at all. So there's some useful measurements up here. Fat-free mass. So that's the mass of my body. Not the lean body mass, but everything in my body, including organs, skeletal tissue, muscle, besides fat. So everything in my body besides fat, basically. Body fat is the percentage. I don't know how it's worked that one out, but that's what it is apparently. And that's the index number. So this is the number that you're really sort of focused on, the 28.07. Now, if you're an absolute beginner, an absolute noob to training, probably going to be something like maybe, I don't know, 18 to 20, something like that. It's quite a good, healthy amount as well. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily unhealthy or weak. It just means your muscular mass is not extra high. So here you can see the range. So as you can see here, it doesn't go above 30. So 30 is like your top IFBB professional bodybuilders. Then if you're looking at people that perhaps have something like anorexia nervosa, they're going to be somewhere around here. Now I'd say somewhere around here is going to be a good range for a lot of people. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be this range, but it gives an indication of what is healthy. Now, what I'm going to say here is as people get more advanced, they'll creep up more and more towards here. Myself, going back in time, knowing what I know about my stats, I achieved a good level of muscularity without any enhancements at all. I think at the time I was just using protein powder and creatine. Now to go back when I was on stage, I was, I believe, 180, about 5'11", so about 180 centimeters, something like that. And I was about 95 kilos on stage, natural. And I was something like 6% body fat. So at the age of 18, these were my stats. So I was still suspiciously high in muscular mass. So what have you, it doesn't necessarily mean you're enhanced, but it gives you an indication. I'd say once someone gets to about 28, 29, 30, that's where you can say pretty good certainty they probably are enhanced. Now, if you wanted the formula yourself, here it is. So that's all it really is. You can look back to my other videos. I do have a video which explains 3 different methods to measure your body fat at home. For quite a cheap fee, you don't have to go out to your house to really measure it. You can order 2 different things. One is a body fat caliper, and the other one is a bioimpedance scale. The other measurement you can use is just by going by the appearance. So if you've got visible abs, chances are you're probably about 10% body fat, near enough. Now here is some data on the fat-free mass index and how it relates to you. So a skinny man, 10 to 18% body fat, will have a low fat-free mass index of about 17 to 18. And these are just the ranges. So this is what you can look at. So I'd like to think that most people would be somewhere perhaps around about here. The reason why is the average man, apparently, I would say is not healthy. The average person does not have great health. 20 to 27% body fat is not a healthy range for the average man. So the average man is by default not healthy. My reference range is 10 to 20%. I think that's a good amount for pretty much anyone. Like I said, I'd like people to be around this sort of mark here. As you get more advanced, obviously you're going to go further down here, then you'll be looking at being very heavily muscled. Now, if you're female, here's how it all works out for you. Same kind of principles apply, just the fat-free mass index will be lower and the body fat will be a little bit higher. So that's just how it works. So hopefully by using this website, you can get an idea of how close you are to reaching your genetic potential for muscle mass. However, keep in mind that fat-free mass index is not a perfect indicator of masculinity. It doesn't account for factors like, I don't know, bone density, muscle fiber type, muscle insertion points, muscle shape, a few other things, but other things will come into it as well. So the factors you might have to consider are your training program, nutrition, recovery status, hormones, and supplements. I'm not talking about creatine here. I hope you found this video informative. If you did like it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you have not yet already. Thanks very much. Build muscle and lose fat on the carnivore diet.